What happens when an urgent new piece of information suddenly emerges right in the middle of a complex legal case? Information that paints a dramatically different picture of events.
Yeah, it can totally reshape the narrative, right? It brings things to light that might have just stayed hidden or, you know, gone unchallenged otherwise.
You're right, it completely shifts the picture, and that's exactly why this deep dive is so crucial today. We're unpacking a very specific legal filing. It's called a Third Supplemental Request to Consider Supplemental Exhibits.
Oh,
And it was submitted to the Supreme Court of the State of New York, County of Kings, just recently, August 14th, 2025. Now, the legal jargon, it's pretty detailed, but our mission here is to cut through that.
right. Get to the core of it.
Exactly. Focus on the powerful human story and the new, incredibly potent evidence this filing introduces. It's all part of this ongoing case, Toribio et al., 1936, Bass v. Apazidis.
And this isn't just some dry legal brief, you know. It's really a window into the raw human impact of alleged medical misconduct. It raises some critical questions about patient safety, about the integrity of medical records. We're talking about detailed firsthand affirmations. These are sworn statements from two people, Crystal and William Hodgson. And they only just came forward like this week.
Wow, this week.
Yeah, after seeing a news article about the case. And their statements, they're considered vital to the court's consideration of issues that are currently basically under judicial review right now.
Okay, so let's unpack this from the beginning then. The story starts with Crystal Hodgson. She had a work accident back on April 11th, 2022.
Right.
Left her with neck pain. So she's looking for an orthopedist, ends up at this walk-in clinic, Total Ortho Express in Deer Park, and that's where she meets Dr. Alexios Apazidis.
And this is where things get interesting. Dr. Apazidis' approach was very specific and, well, as we'll see, pretty concerning. Crystal saw him maybe 3 or 4 times, and he never prescribed physical therapy, just flat out stated it wouldn't work for her. From the second visit onwards, his message was unwavering. Surgery was the only option.
The only option. No PT considered at all.
Apparently not. He allegedly told her discs were blasted apart and her vertebrae was pinching her spinal cord. Really strong language.
Wow. Okay, so he's pushing surgery as the only path. What happened when he actually tried to get it authorized through workers' compensation?
Well, exactly what you might expect given the lack of conservative treatment. He submitted the request for cervical surgery, and it was denied.
Denied because?
Because no physical therapy had been performed, simple as that. Which,
Yeah.
raises the question, what do you do next?
Right.
According to Crystal's sworn statement, Dr. Apazidis allegedly gave her direct instructions. Go through the emergency room at Nassau University Medical Center NUMC on a specific date, September 6th, 2022.
Wait, go to the ER. Why?
The claim is that this was so the surgery could be classified as emergent. Basically a way to bypass the workers' comp denial.
So, like a workaround.
Yeah, that seems to be the allegation. Crystal and her husband, William, they arrive at the ER. They tell the staff Dr. Apazidis told them to come in for surgery. And surprisingly, Crystal says in her statement, this required no further explanation.
That's odd. So the surgery did happen then at NUMC. And the operative report, what did that say?
Well, the operative report apparently justified the surgery by saying it resulted from months of failed non-surgical care.
Months. But you said she only saw him 3 or 4 times.
Exactly. That's the stark contrast. Her reality of failed non-surgical care was just those few visits where surgery was pushed as the only solution. But here's where it gets really crucial.
Okay.
The operative report itself. Crystal Hodgson states it is identical to the reports of 29 other people.
Wait, identical, like word for word?
Identical. A total of 30 identical documents. She's very firm on this in her statement. She says, quote, it is not a template or a time saver. It is a lie told at least 30 times. Dr. Apazidis lied.
30 identical reports. That's staggering. That goes way beyond a clerical error.
Absolutely. If that's proven true, it suggests a deeply concerning systematic practice. Potential fraud, really. It just undermines the whole foundation of patient trust and medical accountability.
And there was another detail, too, something about pathology.
Yeah, another layer. There was a pathology receipt, apparently, but according to the filing, no bone was actually submitted for pathology.
Huh. Okay. So after the surgery, what happened immediately after?
The immediate aftermath sounds pretty alarming, too. Crystal was discharged completely incoherent. Her husband, William, he relied on the hospital's explanation that it was just the anesthesia wearing off.
Which sounds plausible initially, But then what?
Well, just a few hours after they got home, Crystal was still not mentally present, acting strangely. William got concerned, understandably, and called Dr. Apazidis.
And what did Dr. Apazidis say?
He allegedly blamed it on a high dose of Percocet and told William not to worry.
Okay, but did things improve?
No, that's the troubling part. This pattern of dismissal just continued. The next morning, Crystal suffered incontinence. She was confused. She actually stopped speaking.
Stop speaking. That sounds serious.
Very. William called Dr. Apazidis again. And again, the Percocet was allegedly blamed. The day after that, Dr. Apazidis apparently reiterated the Percocet explanation, saying, some people are just very sensitive, though usually it's older patients, and it just takes longer to wear off.
It's chilling hearing how William's concerns were just brushed off repeatedly with the same explanation. Shouldn't there have been other possibilities considered? Red flags.
You would certainly think so. Standard medical practice would usually involve reassessment, perhaps imaging, ruling out complications, especially with neurological changes like confusion and loss of speech.
So William must have been getting desperate. What was his breaking point?
It came on the third day of these really severe symptoms. He told Dr. Apazidis, look, I'm taking Crystal to the emergency room near our home, which was at Good Samaritan.
Okay, finally getting other medical attention.
But here's another twist. Dr. Apazidis' tone allegedly changed completely. He insisted they return to NUMC instead, the hospital where the surgery happened.
Why? Why insist on NUMC, did he say?
The filing doesn't specify his reasoning, but it definitely raises questions. They did go back to NUMC as instructed, but Dr. Apazidis never showed up.
He told them to go there and then didn't even show up himself.
According to William's account, yes.
So they're back at NUMC. What happened then?
That's when the shocking truth started to come out. Initial imaging there revealed an 8mm aneurysm, and a jugular blood clot, both extremely serious, life-threatening conditions. It pointed to a major, immediate medical crisis.
Oh my God.
Then a vertebral artery concern was identified. It was later diagnosed as an acute tear or a dissection, about 4 to 5 centimeters long.
A tear in the artery.
In her neck.
Yes, basically a critical tear in the artery wall.
Yeah.
And these can lead to devastating consequences like stroke. Crystal actually believes this tear happened during the surgery itself.
Why does she think that? Because the dissection was in the C4-5 region, and that artery runs through the C5-6 area where the surgery was performed.
The location matches up?
It seems plausible, yes. And connecting this to the bigger picture, Crystal later learned that the blood from that cut artery blood Dr. Apazidis allegedly didn't drain properly is what likely caused the clot and the aneurysm.
So the lack of drainage led to the clot and aneurysm.
Which, in turn, resulted in her suffering 4 strokes.
No strokes.
4 strokes. All during those several days when her husband was being repeatedly told by Dr. Apazidis not to worry, that it was just the Percocet.
That timeline. 4 strokes while being told it's just pain medication. That's just horrifying. It really highlights how vulnerable patients can be.
It's incredibly disturbing.
And what about Dr. Apazidis' involvement after she was back in NUMC with these terrible findings?
Well, get this. His subsequent consultative notes, written the day after Crystal was admitted back to NUMC with the diagnosed aneurysm and clot, those notes allegedly entirely omitted the already diagnostically observed vertebral artery concern.
He just left out the artery tear.
Completely omitted it, according to the filing,
Yeah.
and then announced there is no role for spine surgery at this time before leaving just 11 minutes after he arrived.
11 minutes after all that. Wow.
Yeah, and Crystal's recovery, as you can imagine, was incredibly long and difficult. About a week and a half at North Shore University Hospital, then 2 weeks in inpatient rehab just to relearn how to speak and walk.
Relearn basic functions.
Followed by another month of intense therapy speech, occupational, physical. William, her husband, expressed just profound regret for not trusting his gut instincts earlier, for not pushing back harder against the Percocet explanation.
I can only imagine how he must feel.
And adding insult to injury, he also learned later that Dr. Apazidis actually tried to claim the strokes were part of Crystal's original workers' compensation matter.
Claimed the strokes he allegedly contributed to were part of the work injury.
That's what William learned, yes.
So it's been nearly 3 years since all this happened. Why are the Hodgsons coming forward with these sworn statements right now?
That's a key point. Crystal is very clear in her affirmation. She and William were not solicited by anyone. They are not receiving any compensation for providing these statements.
So they reached out themselves.
Yes. They saw a news article detailing the ongoing legal matter involving Dr. Apazidis, and they reached out to the attorney involved.
And their motivation.
Crystal states it very plainly. Her only reason for providing the affirmation is, quote, to bring awareness to the harm resulting from the particular practice at issue in the third-party complaint.
Just awareness.
Just awareness. And William reinforces that. He says Dr. Apazidis' reports are, quote, not cookie cutter. They are false and they hurt people. He hurt my wife and he lied about it. It's incredibly powerful testimony.
Absolutely. So, stepping back, what does this all really mean, this deep dive? I mean, it's revealed through these very personal firsthand accounts, an alleged pattern of medical practice that seems to deviate sharply from standard care.
Right. And you've got that really striking detail of the identical operative reports across potentially 30 patients.
30 patients. And then the devastating, truly life-altering consequences for Crystal Hodgson. And you have to acknowledge the profound courage of both Crystal and William in coming forward like this.
Definitely. Our purpose here isn't just, to rehash this specific legal fight, but maybe use it as a lens to understand how crucial new evidence can be in court, and maybe even more importantly, the vital role of patient advocacy within the healthcare system itself.
Yeah. This single legal filing, it just peels back layers of alleged medical and administrative irregularities. And it really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How often do personal stories like the Hodgsons, how often do they remain unheard? Especially when the official records, like those operative reports, might tell a completely different story.
That's a really sobering thought. What does this tell us about the need for maybe greater transparency or more oversight within these complex healthcare systems? These are big questions.
They are. We hope this deep dive helps you feel more informed, not just about the specifics of this one case, obviously, but maybe about the critical role of diligence, asking questions, and, independent patient advocacy when you're navigating these complex medical and legal systems. What part of the story, what detail really stands out to you?